Now at 9, September 11th is a tragic day that every American remembers. How One Muncie organization is remembering the victims tomorrow.
And Ball State's food pantry, Cardinal Kitchen, had its second opening today. How the school resource has been operating for the past 5 years.
High heat and humidity is on the way and continues through the rest of this week, but also some rain chances. We'll time that out here a little bit later on in the show.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Lexi Esterly.
Our top story tonight: almost 18 years ago, this country changed forever. Tomorrow, Americans will pause and remember the September 11th terrorist attacks. NewsLink Indiana's Emily Harless tells us how One Muncie organization is raising awareness for local fallen soldiers and first responders.
Every September, the Muncie Exchange Club has been teaming up with Minnetrista to set up a patriotic display on the Minnetrista lawn. The annual event, titled Flags of Honor, displays 1,000 flags that stand in honor of local veterans, current soldiers, first responders, and fallen heroes. Bob Rector, chairperson for the Flags of Honor, talks about how the event unites people within the community.
Yeah, a lot of people come out here and just enjoy the field and the campus here at Minnetrista. We had a great crowd here today, but you have farmers market right beside it, so a lot of those people are coming over.
Some of the flags on the field are adorned with yellow ribbons that families have bought in order to honor a loved one. Rector believes the event can sometimes be a needed outlet for people.
It's kind of a healing field sometimes out here.
The nonprofit event is focused around 9/11 and the bravery shown that day in 2001. Every year the flags stay up until the evening of the 11th, and then a ceremony is held with America's Hometown Band playing music and service personnel and first responders guarding the flags. Rector believes the event plays a very important role on the importance of 9/11.
If you were here and you were awake and you saw it, you knew where you were at. So this is what this starts on the 4th and it always ends on the 11th of Patriots Day as we celebrate those first responders. When we run away from a building, the firefighters running the other way, and there's something to be said about that.
In Muncie, Emily Harless, NewsLink Indiana.
Now, the ceremony will take place tomorrow night at 7 with America's Hometown Band performing right before at 6:30. Additional information can be found on Minnetrista's website.
We told you yesterday that enrollment here at Ball State is up this fall, but that's not the case for all Indiana schools. Indiana University says its overall enrollment has dropped slightly at its 7 campuses around the state. The university's data shows its overall enrollment has dropped 0.8% in the past year, and the main campus in Bloomington saw its enrollment drop 0.4%.
Meanwhile, Governor Eric Holcomb spent his day in Tokyo following his week-long trip to Japan and South Korea. Holcomb met with executives from both Subaru and Honda discussing their major auto assembly plants in Indiana. He hosted an event thanking those executives for their partnerships. The governor will also travel to China and India later this week.
As vaping has recently been a hot topic of conversation, now officials confirm yet another death. The latest fatality was reported in Kansas. This now brings the death toll to 6, prompting authorities around the country to put out warnings regarding e-cigarette use. Authorities say there have been at least 450 cases of severe lung disease potentially linked to vaping. Some of these cases are still under investigation. While some who vape say they've seen some of the effects, medical officials see no sign of vaping slowing down.
I have personally seen the use of e-cigarettes among my adolescent patients skyrocket.
All the stuff that I've been doing, like the past 2 years that I thought was completely harmless, has silently been killing me.
Officials say the deaths have occurred across multiple states, including right here in Indiana. Deaths were also reported in Kansas, California, Illinois, Minnesota, and in Oregon.
Meanwhile, skeleton remains found in an Anderson Park this spring have now been identified. That's according to the Madison County coroner. Remains found at Riverbend Park last spring have now been identified as 52-year-old Ronald Mandrell. Mandrell went missing last July while he was homeless. His death is still under investigation. And turning now to your weather forecast, you know, Lexi, it was a very beautiful day outside. It is September, so you would probably expect to see some fall weather, but we didn't see anything like that today. We saw temperatures in the 90s.
No, that is true. I was definitely sweating while I was going to class, but hopefully we'll see some cooler temperatures later this week. Nathan, is it looking like it's going to cool down?
I'll tell you what, I'm ready for the pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin donuts, pumpkin pies, but look at these temperatures out there. Temperatures in the 90s today, 92 in Muncie, 92 in Indianapolis, and that heat humidity is going to be sticking around through the next few days. 81 in Indianapolis still at this hour, 82 in Muncie. We look at the heat index, we're still quite high across the area at this hour. Now coming up a little later on in the show, we're tracking a few of these scattered clouds working through the area. That's going to bring some rain chances for tomorrow. We'll time out those rain chances as well as the heat and humidity right after this and a little bit later on the show.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. Officials in the Bahamas are calling it a, quote, joyless and dark time for the country facing the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. The hurricane devastated the island, leaving locals in extremely tough conditions. Grand Bahama and the Abacos Islands are still without power and water, and 70,000 people are left homeless. United States officials have said those with proper documentation will be able to come to the U.S. for refuge.
New tonight on NewsLink Indiana, President Trump fires National Security Advisor John Bolton. Caitlin Collins breaks down Bolton's exit.
For John Bolton, the firing came via Twitter. As President Trump announced today, he informed his National Security Advisor his services are no longer needed at the White House. But in a surreal moment 12 minutes later, Bolton denied he was fired, tweeting, "I offered to resign last night, and President Trump said, let's talk tomorrow." Bolton was seen by CNN cameras outside the West Wing this morning, after sources said he got into a bitter disagreement with Trump the night before.
The alternative was the White House, and you wouldn't have been happy with that either.
They argued over the president's decision to host Taliban leaders at Camp David, a meeting Trump later canceled.
John Bolton's priorities and policies just don't line up with the president's.
Bolton's pushback to inviting the Taliban on U.S. soil and allegedly telling reporters about his feelings after may have been the last straw, with one source telling CNN the leaking is what got him. But in recent weeks, Bolton had found himself isolated from the president, iced out by the chief of staff, and barely speaking to the Secretary of State.
There were many times Ambassador Bolton and I disagreed, that's to be sure.
Bolton was scheduled to be at this afternoon's briefing alongside Mike Pompeo and Steven Mnuchin.
The president's view of the Iraq war and Ambassador Bolton's was very different.
But after the president's tweet, a White House official said Bolton is no longer in the building.
I like conflict. I like having two people with different points of view.
Trump once claimed he liked the chaos of a West Wing with multiple opinions, but he grew irritated by Bolton's hardline positions in recent weeks.
I actually temper John, which is pretty amazing.
Now, in regard to leaking the Camp David summit, a source close to the White House said Bolton has, quote, been a bureaucratic infighter his whole life, and it finally hurt him.
Now, one of Ball State's biggest resources, Cardinal Kitchen, had its second opening today, coming up what the food pantry has been doing for the past 5 years.
And big changes are coming to two fast food giants. Find out what restaurants are getting a facelift and how.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, she seems fine to me.
No more, not my problem.
No more, she was drunk.
No more, he was drunk.
No more, she was asking for it.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, why didn't she tell anyone? No more, we don't talk about that.
No more bystanding.
No more ignorance.
No more excuses.
No more.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Welcome back. Ball State offers many resources to students, one of which is Cardinal Kitchen. NewsLink Indiana's Tucker White has more on what they have to offer.
Ball State Cardinal Kitchen has been serving students and their families for 5 years. This student-run organization is open the second, third, and fourth Tuesday night of every month from 5 to 8. Cardinal Kitchen offers a wide variety of goods from school supplies to food.
We do have grocery items, so we have cereal, rice, canned vegetables, things like that. We also have toiletries, so razors, deodorants, soaps, and we also have school supplies when necessary. So our first opening last week, we had folders, papers, things like that.
Graduate assistant Taylor Thomas also said that pasta tends to be the most popular item.
Lately we go through a ton of juice, but we also go through a lot of pasta. So pasta sauce and noodles, because it's such an easy, quick meal to make. We're always looking for more pasta sauce.
While there are many students who utilize this program, Taylor believes that fear keeps some students away.
So many students use it. There is no backlash whatsoever. Everyone's super kind that comes in, and it's just like a really welcoming environment. People go and they get their food and they leave, and it's really as simple as that.
In Muncie, Tucker White, NewsLink Indiana.
Cardinal Kitchen takes place in the Multicultural Center located behind the Student Center.
All right, now to my favorite story of the night. Fast food lovers, you gotta listen up to this one. Wendy's is jumping all the way onto the breakfast bandwagon. The fast food giant currently has breakfast items including a bacon sandwich and a honey butter chicken biscuit at about 300 stores, but next year, all U.S. locations will start serving breakfast. Yes, you heard that right, it's finally here, or at least we're getting closer to it. The company plans to hire roughly 20,000 new workers for the initiative. However, the price of adding a breakfast menu is not cheap at all. Wendy's estimates they'll spend roughly $20 million to serve breakfast nationwide. And while Wendy's jumps on the breakfast bandwagon, another fast food restaurant is adding new technology they hope will have you saying, "I'm loving it." Of course, we're talking about McDonald's. They agreed to buy a startup company that will make the drive-thru more high-tech. The fast food giant hopes the new technology will make ordering faster, easier, and more accurate. And apparently it even understands different accents. How cool is that? No word yet on when the latest tech will hit your McDonald's drive-thru.
Apple unveiled the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and Pro Max this morning. This new generation of iPhones will have a similar external look as the previous technology, with the exception of a new camera system. Internally, the phones will have improved battery life and hardware. The newest iPhones will be available for pre-order on Friday, September 13th, and go on sale on September 20th. In addition to the phones, Apple is releasing the 7th generation iPad and an updated version of the Apple Watch. A classic board game gets a new makeover celebrating girl power. Hasbro created a new Miss Monopoly. In this version, female players make more than their male challengers. Women collect $240 every time they pass go, while men still collect the normal $200. Another change, players invest in inventions created by women instead of buying properties. Miss Monopoly is available for pre-order today. Now, Nathan, what do you have for us in regards to weather?
Man, we got Wendy's and McDonald's and Monopoly. Yes. We're taking back to my childhood here. This. But if you're heading out to any of those fast food restaurants tomorrow, it's going to be pretty hot out there. Temperatures are going to fall into the 70s, even in the upper 60s tonight. Find out just how hot it's going to get tomorrow, and what about those rain chances as well. We'll time out the latest right after the break.
For those who serve today, and those who served before them, for those whose sacrifice will never end, the Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through entertainment, outreach, and life-changing support. We can never give enough, but we can always give a little more. Find out how you can donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Sometimes there's no do-over. Some things you can't rewind. That's Here's when an extra safety step could mean the difference between a close call and a call to 911. Simple steps save lives. Learn more at poolsafely.gov.
Action!
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
And welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Now, I know as far as the weather, it was a hot one out there. It's September, not fall-like at all. What's going on? Like, I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, guys, I feel like I should be making my tea time or getting out the tennis rackets. I mean, what a summer-like forecast we have here, and it still feels very warm outside right now. 82 degrees still the temperature here in Muncie. Winds come out of the southwest at 3 miles an hour. 82 in Muncie, 81 in Indianapolis, 76 in Shelbyville, in 75. Good evening to you in Kokomo. And if you factor in what it feels like outside, still a little bit warmer out there, but those heat indices have come down compared to where we were earlier today. On radar, we're just seeing a few high clouds passing off to our north and west. And we're going to time out these rain chances here coming up over the next few days here. Tonight we just see a few increasing clouds as a really nice, comfortable night outside. But notice by the time you wake up tomorrow morning here at 5 o'clock, starting to notice an increase in the cloud cover here coming from the south as lows are going to drop into the low 70s to upper 60s across the area. Now through the day tomorrow, we are going to see an increase in clouds. By the time you're heading off to class, could see a stray sprinkle early on in the day, but the best chance for some shower activity and thunderstorm activity comes later on in the day, seeing some isolated thunderstorms across the area. Not going to be widespread by any means, but definitely take the umbrella tomorrow just in case you get under some of these isolated storms. 74 at 9 o'clock, 80 by noon, and all the way up to 90 degrees there by 5 o'clock. And you factor in the heat index, this is some dangerous heat out there tomorrow. It's 91 the heat index, 92 in Portland, 93 in Anderson. So dangerous heat out there. We definitely want to remind you of some heat tips here tonight. Avoid the outdoors in the afternoon hours as the hazards are exhaustion and heat stroke. You're going to want to hydrate throughout the day and wear some loose-fitting clothing out there, as there's definitely the potential for some heat and humidity to cause some impacts out there. Certainly unusual for this time of the year in September. As we advance the clock into the overnight Wednesday night, you start to see some clearing overnight. Before as we move into the day on Thursday, things start out pleasant, but another rain chances on the way on Thursday. More widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. I think the better chance is going to be tomorrow compared to the day on Thursday, but better chances are going to arrive on Friday in the forms of a cold front. That's going to create nice conditions for the football forecast here on Saturday. Mostly sunny skies, 78 degrees. Much more comfortable air moves in over the weekend. Great weather for Ball State's family weekend coming up. Now in the 7-day forecast, can we hold on to those heat and humidity and the rain chances here this week? 89 on Thursday. Best chance comes on Friday. This is in the form of a cold front that's going to move through the area. Temperature of 84, dropping down to the upper 70s on Saturday as that front passes through on Friday. And look at next week. We crank that heat right back up heading into next week. 82 on Sunday, 85 on Monday, and 86 on Tuesday. That summer-like air just won't get out of here. If you're a summer heat fan, this is the forecast for you.
Yeah, personally not a big fan of the summer heat. Also, I never would have imagined that you would be giving us tips on how to stay safe in the heat in the middle of September.
Oh, I know, and get this fact for you. Louisville reached their high temperature of 99 degrees, which set an all-time record. The previous record was back in 1897. Wow. So this is some crazy heat we're experiencing.
That's just incredible. Never thought that we would almost see triple digits down in Louisville. Again, hopefully we can get some of that cooler weather in here because personally, that's what I like.
Yeah, stay cool out there, folks.
And
all right, Nathan, thank you so much.
With these crazy heats, the new freshman class might be having some trouble adjusting adjusting, but how is the freshman class adjusting to things like sports, Anna?
They're actually doing really well. I've got a couple great things coming up with some freshman standouts in cross country. I've got a player of the week in women's soccer and more. So stick with us.
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Anna Wainscott with sports. Ball State cross country has been led this season by 2 of its freshmen. Indiana NewsLink Philip Shorze has more.
Freshman Juliana Stogsdill and Vivian Van Eck are both very new to the world of collegiate competition.
Like coming in as a freshman, I kind of like self-doubted, I think, a little bit.
I didn't know what to expect. I just wanted to stay like up there.
We knew that they were going to come in and make an impact,
But maybe not as much of an impact as they have made the first 2 meets. Stogsdill was the Ball State leader at the Butler Twilight meet, while Van Eck led the team at the Indiana Wesleyan Invitational this past weekend.
I think they're going to keep dropping. I mean, they're working really hard in practice every day.
They have been helped along by their upperclassmen teammates who have been showing them the ropes both on and off the course.
It's fun working with like the senior girls, and they're such great examples, like the junior, senior girls, and running with them, and then running with Juliana. It's like friendly competition, I guess.
The freshmen will look to continue their fast starts this upcoming weekend at the Spartan Invite at Michigan State. There, Ball State cross country will get its first taste of MAC competition.
Yeah, I'm excited because the MAC Championships is a really big meet, and it's always good to race them before that meet to know what to expect.
So Bowling Green, Western, it'll be good to just see where we're at against them.
Ball State will be one of 3 MAC teams competing at the meet. In Muncie, Philip Shorze, NewsLink Indiana.
The young freshman leaders and the rest of their cross-country team look to continue their strong start this weekend. Moving on to soccer, Ball State goalkeeper Tristan Studeville has been named Defensive Player of the Week. This is the 3rd week in a row that she has claimed the title. Studeville and her teammates will be traveling to Florida this weekend with games on Friday and Saturday. The Cardinals are hoping for more game-winning saves from Studeville. The women's volleyball team suffered a tough loss Saturday against Gonzaga. This puts the Cardinals at 3-3 on the season and 0-2 on the road. One aspect that has been an issue for Ball State has been their blocking. Their opponents have over 20 more total blocks so far this season. Despite these issues, it has not been all bad for the Cardinals on the defensive side. Digs have been a bright spot as they have nearly matched their components in that category. Head coach Kelly Phillips believes there is not one definite solution.
Then just you gotta get to work. I mean, there's really no magic formula, and it's not about who we're gonna play Friday. It's just gonna come down to us continuing to work and get better, and that's what we'll plan to do.
The Cardinals look to bounce back at 6 o'clock Friday evening in the Northern Kentucky tournament. Ball State's junior Nathan Snyder's punt average is now ranked 16th in the nation. His coaches say he's faced some inconsistencies in the past, but that it hasn't stopped him from working harder. After punting for 2 weeks this fall, he is very excited to be a full-time punter. Snyder hopes to follow in the footsteps of players like Brad Maynard and Reggie Hodges, two former Ball State standouts that eventually went on to the NFL. Now, I always find it really exciting when I see Ball State football players go on to play in the NFL.
Yeah, that's cool stuff. Hopefully we can see a few more of those Cardinals go on to the NFL. Hopefully also we can get yet another W this Saturday for, what is it, Family Weekend?
It is Family Weekend this weekend, yes.
Yeah, of course, we can't wait. All right, Anna, thank you so much. And up next in Trending, find out what rapper brightened a fan's day while visiting their hometown.
Also, learn why an artist has made the decision to postpone their nationwide tour. All that and more coming up in Trending.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet if you are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
Welcome back on to NewsLink Indiana. Time for us to have a little fun now and to take a look at what's trending.
Joining us now is NewsLink Indiana's Jessica Norton. Jessica, what do you have for us?
Yes, I have stories about two artists who, if you're not fans of them now, you're going to be big fans of them by the end of this. Artist Lil Nas X was visiting his hometown in Atlanta this weekend, where he couldn't pass up on the chance of making a sick fan's day. 11-year-old Elijah is staying at the Children's Healthcare Hospital of Atlanta, where he's fighting sickle cell disease. This devoted fan told Lil Nas he listens to his music when he's feeling good during treatment. Lil Nas even let him wear his cowboy hat first worn in his music video of the chart-topping song Old Town Road. Lil Nas X is not the only rapper with a heartwarming story this week. Chance the Rapper is putting family first and postponing his nationwide tour. Chance recently announced that he welcomed a baby girl into his family. He took this exciting news to Instagram, where his caption explained that he didn't want to miss out on the important moments with his daughters and wife. Chance's tour, entitled The Big Day, was scheduled to start on December 14th. That day has now been pushed back to January 15th. Fans who purchased tickets to his show took social media when the news was released and reacted only with love and support for their favorite artist.
All right, really cool stuff in trending. Jessica, thank you so much. We love Lil Nas X, and we kind of love that weather.
Yeah, if you're taking your horse to the Old Town Road the rest of this week, it's going to be a hot one out there. As temperatures in the 90s tomorrow, and heat and humidity is going to continue through the end of this week, but comfortable weather this weekend and more heat next week.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. We're back tomorrow at noon. Have a great night, everyone.